Okay, so before I start this video, I just want to make it clear for the record that I do not have access to most of the scans in this video. I've seen the feats in question, I've seen through most of the evidence, but unfortunately I don't have the scans for this particular video. So I'm going to be saying things that will not be substantiated with evidence on the screen. The reason I say that specifically is not for my normal viewers, it's because I feel like this video in particular is going to be seen by people who don't normally watch my content, and they'll probably be disappointed, of course, but that's just beside the point. Like, to the best of my ability, I couldn't find Baki online, and my normal Fist of the North Star scan website I use is down as well. So for the most part, I've seen all this, so this should be well within reason, but if for any reason I've missed a feat or something, that's why. I will talk about certain feats as well that I probably won't end up using, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video and what would change if I even did use them. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and get started. Okay, so the way this is usually going to work is I'm just going to cover the physical stats unequalized, and this is just going to be straight, more or less, the facts of the situation. So obviously, can they kill each other? Yeah, both characters are able to die. They're not like immortal or anything like that, no problem. In terms of physical strength, unfortunately, Yujiro is a character who's not very well. So, as in, like, what Yujiro can actually do is just arbitrarily anything higher than what anyone else can do for the most part. So, for example, Yujiro scales to a feat that ranges in the 90 to 100 tons range, but he should be stronger than that or comparable to that at the bare minimum. Whereas Roah scales to Kenshiro, who lifted a rock that was calculated to be around 300 tons without even going 100%. And so that's like not even peak condition Kenshiro. So it's like Kenshiro, or more specifically Roah here, has the strength advantage. So he wins physical strength. I will talk a little bit about a feat from Biscuit Olivia at a later point when we get to the AP. In terms of speed, Yujiro's best feat is a statement that he could react and dodge a lightning bolt, which on average is around massively hypersonic. Massively hypersonic isn't slow by any stretch, but the problem here is that Roah scales above a person whose statement is that he can attack at the speed of light. Not only that, there are other calculations you can use and other feats in question that get Fist of the North Star massively into the massive hypersonic range. And if you want a more specific statement, in Fist of the Blue Sky, Kasumi Kenshiro stated to be able to move at lightning speeds and dodge an attack that he compares to 1,000 lightning bolts at once. So even in the massively hypersonic range, there's more statements for Fist of the North Star scaling much higher. So Raoh's just going to speed blitz as well. So the edge and speed goes to Roah. In terms of durability, this scales off their AP. Going off versus Battle Wiki, since they do have calculations for more of the more obscure feats, Fist of the North Star goes to about country level based on a cloud parting feat. Whereas Yujiro is town level to mountain level, or at the highest estimate island level, if you want to just include the fact that he can tank potentially all the nukes in the world, which is still going to be far less than Roah. So in terms of durability, Roah wins. Now going off to AP, which I'm just going to scale based off their AP based off of their ability and such of that nature. Roah again is country level based on splitting clouds after losing the fight to Kenshiro, and that was at near death. He would scale higher in peak condition. Roah also ignores conventional durability thanks to, the North Star, and more likely for the fact that he knows Nanto Seiken as well. Yujiro, again, the highest you can get him to is island level, which AP-wise is still going to be less than Roah, but on average, you're probably better off playing him at mountain level. Now, I want to talk very briefly about a feat Biscuit Olivia has, where he potentially is able to shake or move the planet by slamming Baki into it. There's no other feats on that level to my knowledge, and that would be a massive outlier in general. But if we were to include that feat for Yujiro, just to be fair here, that would put Yujiro, from what I understand, at worst, it would be multi-continent, or at best, it would be around moon level, because it doesn't really move all that far. So if you were to give that feat to Yujiro, he would have higher AP and durability than Roah. It's not going to matter durability-wise, but it would matter AP-wise. But on the more average level, with the feats shown that aren't like super crazy outliers or anything, Roah would stomp. So all the stats here have basically proven that in an actual, general fight, right now Baki, or at least Yujiro, well, obviously Baki would get stomped as well. Yujiro gets stomped by Fist of the North Star characters. And Raoh's not the only one who scales this high, by the way. There are several other characters who scale just as high as Roah does. So just throwing that one out there. Okay, so under normal circumstances at this point, I would talk about the powers and abilities of the characters, and then talk about the outcome of the versus matchup, and then a potential equalized fight in certain cases. Based on what I've seen of Baki, an equalized fight wouldn't matter. Rao's still going to win. But the problem is that I haven't really seen enough of Baki and Yujiro specifically, and a lot of his more impressive like combat-based feats, so I'm not going to bother with an equalized matchup here. Which means I'm not really going to talk about the powers and abilities of the characters either, because the stats have made it perfectly clear that Rao is just going to shit stomp this fight. So yeah, there's the scaling just doesn't exist there for Baki at all. Like Yujiro, I know Baki fans are like Yujiro strong and shit, and that I know there's a big like Kenshiro versus like Yujiro debate where apparently they say Kenshiro gets hit by a lightning bolt and Yujiro tanks a lightning bolt, therefore Yujiro is way stronger than Kenshiro. That's wrong contextually, but even then, that would be an outlier in the situation for Kenshiro, the same way like Biscuit Olivia's feat's gonna be an outlier for Baki. And even then, that's not what actually happened. If you actually read the chapter, Kenshiro gets like first like caught off guard because Yuria does something to him by like fucking causing the 7 stars on his chest to light up. The point of the matter is this: Yujiro gets stomped in a non-equalized fight, and well, I personally think he gets stomped in an equalized fight as well. I don't know Baki well enough to actually talk about an equalized fight with these characters, because at that point I gotta talk about tactics and their more one-to-one abilities. So I'm just gonna end the video here. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. And obviously, if you have any disagreements with the outcome or the scaling or anything, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below.